Welcome inside the cozy confines of Comerica Park. It's time for Catholic League semifinal baseball. Hello again, everybody. My name is Chad Bush alongside Brandon Justice here on the prep for Game 3 of 4 games being played today. 3-0 in the first 2 games as Macomb Lutheran North won game number 1. Game number 2 was won by Divine Child 3-0. And here we have it. A couple of CHL Central teams going at it. They opened up the year with a couple of special performances. Brandon, your thoughts on this ball game between these two powerhouse teams who finished 2nd and 3rd in that Central Division?
There was just a plethora of recognizable talent in this game on both sides. Division I, Division II, JUCO, it's all over. Plenty of bats here, a lot of loud bats as well. 2 loud arms on each side, Robert Clan and Kurt Barr. You're going to see a lot of high-power baseball, a lot of team baseball, top to bottom, college baseball players on each side. It should be exciting.
This is Jaron Purified. This is the top player in the state of Michigan in the junior class. And he's going against Robert Clan, the right-handed pitcher. Clan, a guy that we've seen a couple of times this year, an uncommitted senior. Low 90s fastball. We'll get to more of his scouting report shortly. And this one is fouled back. And Kurt Barr will be the guy that he's opposed by. But talk about Jaron Purify, this shortstop and leadoff man for Liggett. He's special.
Incredibly athletic and versatile. He can play all over the field. He can do things at the plate. He can do it on defense. He can do it on the base path. Speed, power, the hit tools there. A fantastic player despite the strikeout there. And Clan, a guy who can elevate it like he did there as well.
So out is Purify, the Michigan commit, on a strikeout from Robert Clan. And these two teams started the year and they split the doubleheader, first in the Catholic League and first matchup. This is the right-handed hitting number 5, Matthew Green, the center fielder. You look at the lineup, Purify to lead things off, followed by Green. Oliver Service, the catcher. Kurt Barr will bat 4th and also pitch. Jones bats 5th. The other Barr, Preston, is at 3rd and bats 6th. Swing and a miss. How about Robert Clan coming on? My goodness. And he's not playing around. 2 quick strikeouts for this lethal Liggett lineup.
Yeah, Robert Clan, a mainstay of the Michigan Bulls throughout his whole career in the summer circuit, playing with Sean Gallagher. Fantastic summer program. And Robert Clan's been a nice forefront for their program the past couple of years as one of the power arms coming out of it. Showing and shining here early on, and now he faces the Texas commit, Oliver Service, to try and sweep through the first 3 batters of a very powerful Liggett lineup.
Oliver Service had a home run against Orchard Lake St. Mary's a couple of weeks ago at Orchard Lake. You look at that lineup again. Sharp will bat after Barr. He's moved down in the lineup a bit. Martin is in that lineup. That's a new face, Jake Martin. And then followed with the number 9 hitter, Joey Randazzo, who's in left field. He'll appeal down to first. No, he did not. Oliver Service, a lot of pop in this bat. Solid receiver. And against Clan, a fastball pitcher, this guy could be a tough matchup.
Yeah, Oliver Service catches a barrel, it goes far, especially when it's coming in as hard as he's throwing it.
Clan, 3 Ks. Did it 9 pitches. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Rice making a statement early. Let's go to the bottom half of the first. No score from Comerica, just underway.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 300,000 participants here in Michigan who take part in high school sports.
Welcome back to Comerica Park. Chad Bush and Brandon Justice with you. Alex Westfall, your executive producer. Kurt Barr on the mound, the Michigan commit. And the senior, gaudy numbers, all league. Did a nice job against Lutheran Westland. A fastball that can touch 90. Got that 2,300 spin rate. Also has a nice curveball. And he's up against it with his Brother Rice lineup led off by Alfredo Velasquez. As this one's popped up. And his brother Preston will try to fetch that thing down. The batting lineup for Brother Rice looks like this. Velasquez leads off. And he's in center field. Followed by Alex Cheeseman. And we'll get to more of that in a moment. Here's the pitch. Outside corner just off the plate. This is Alfredo Velasquez, who's committed to Michigan. He's just a junior. And he can do it two ways too, my friend.
Absolutely. On the mound, a left-handed thrower who can run it up to 91, 92, and upwards of 93. At the plate is a gap-to-gap guy with the power tool, left to be uncovered. He's gone yard before. It's not really his game, but he can do it. And then on the base path, he's about a 6'5", 6'6" runner and can swipe bags like no tomorrow.
Eric Bakich is getting a nice piece here in this Brother Rice club, led by Bob Riker in his 25th year.
When you think Brother Rice, you think Bob Riker.
Sure.
It's synonymous. These two guys know each other well. Kurt Barr and Alfredo Velasquez, two Michigan commits. They will spend time together. Preston also a Michigan commit, so all three of them will be in Ann Arbor here soon. Eric Bakich doing a nice job sweeping up the state's talents lately.
He sure is. Conversation now as Service will come out and have a word. Velasquez, so what's the thought at him at the next level? Is he a true two-way guy in college, or where do you think they'll lean with him?
Yeah, I think he's got to be. I think so far he's really evidenced what he can do on both sides of the ball. On the mound, he's been dominant. No hitting, a Liggett lineup filled with D1 guys, and at the plate, he does stuff like that.
Ground ball sharply to second. Reggie Sharp with it, and easily over to first.
Sounded loud off the bat in my defense.
Sure did. No, it did. It's hard to read the ball from up here, too. We've seen a couple of games. There's the lineup. Velasquez along with Dowd, who's coming up here. Fox is the first baseman. It's a young club for Brother Rice, all underclassmen. Cheeseman will bat fourth. Taransky bats fifth. Turner bats sixth. Crane will bat seventh. And Rupenthal will bat eighth. Batting ninth. For Brother Rice's Max Orozco, the second baseman. This is Alex Cheeseman, the former product of St. Regis. He's a junior. One out. We're just underway in the bottom half of the first.
Yeah, and Cheeseman's a guy, lefty stick. He can put it through here. Shortstop. Plays the game well, sound. Another product of the Michigan Bulls as well.
What a team that Bulls club is. There's a swing and a miss. Out on strikes. Barr's first of the day. And again, Barr threw a no-hitter in the first go-around between these two teams in Grosse Pointe. Kurt Barr, the Michigan commit, as the clouds are completely covering, but we've avoided rain. By the way, these windows come down, and we're going to come down with them. We got a screen there. Okay. Sorry. Yo. All right, some wind modifications here. It's getting windy.
The prep on the fly.
That's right. Swing and a miss. 2 strikeouts for Barr in the inning. We go to the top of the second in a scoreless battle between these Central Division rivals. We are the prep. Robert Klan, one of the fast, high-rising seniors, uncommitted. And if you have not seen this kid yet, you might want to watch him in this game. He's available. Go get him. Lower 90s fastball, got a changeup and a slider. He's just getting better as the season goes. Against Detroit Edison, he was impressive. 4 innings, just the 1 earned run. Picked up the win, had 6 strikeouts. And he will now face the pitcher, Kurt Barr, who leads things off. 4, 5, and 6 for Dan Samini, the head coach in his 18th season, who has 5 state titles to his credit. There's a shot to center, hit hard, but right at the center fielder. That's Dowd, who makes a easy catch for a loud out number 1.
Yeah, and Robert Klan is attacking here early, working through the first 4 hitters pretty easily so far. Gets Kurt Barr there just under the barrel. A good piece of hitting, but just missed it. We'll see what Jones can do here following up. Oh, we're going bar to bar. A little handoff, brother to brother.
The Barr. And he's tardy with that pitch. Robert Klan.
Seen pitchers attack corners well here today so far in the first 2 games, and so far the same thing here out of Klan.
Just didn't pitch a lot last year due to the depth. Another strikeout here. And his momentum obvious as he's starting to mow down this Liggett lineup.
Well, we know Comerica is a pitcher's park in the MLB.
Yeah.
Not a lot of home runs given up here. You had to guess that it was going to be a similar thing in translation to the high school game where there's a lot less power.
Yeah.
And that's been evidenced so far with only 6 total runs between 2 games and 0-0 here in the top of the second, and Klan working through with much ease so far, facing Ryan Jones here.
Ryan Jones chops one to short, to his left, scoops it up, fires across the diamond, and it's a 1-2-3 for Brother Rice. And this fast-moving early goings of the semifinal. A couple of Central Division opponents battling it out.
We begin with your dream, your drive, your grit, the heart and vision of every member of your team. We take it all, and from those threads of greatness, we weave a uniform of a champion. In many ways, our sport is just like yours. We've brought together a team of elite designers. We've put in the time and the sweat, perfecting our craft over 14 years. We've outfitted thousands of teams for thousands of victories, approaching each new project, each new game, like it's the only one we'll ever play. And let's be honest, we've done it all with a quality so unmatched that some can't help but call it perfection. You know, it's more than just a shirt. Look like a champion, play like a champion. A champion powered by the G. Hashtag G-Brand USA. G-Brand USA. Elite design, unmatched quality, American pride. We're proudly made in the USA.
Alex Cheeseman, Alfredo Velasquez, Tristan Crane, and Braden Dowd. Dowd has really done well against St. Mary's this year. Crane's had his time against CC. Again, underclassmen up and down. Robert Klan, the only senior that really headlines their best players, and everybody else underclassmen. Rice is set up and primed for the future. So is Liggett. And another look here. Velasquez, a top 5 player in the junior class. The state of Michigan. Cheeseman, a Division I player. Tristan Crane, just a sophomore. I mean, there's some guys on that list that are going to be on there for quite some time.
Yeah, and Braden Dowd, I think, is one of the more overlooked players in the state. Really talented kid who went yard in the first inning of the CHSL final last year against St. Mary's and really jolted Rice to that hot start they had against the Eaglets that nearly gave them a chance to come out as victors in that game, as we know how it ended. But Dowd is one of the more underappreciated players in the state, I think. He's a left-handed stick, left-handed thrower, plays a good center field, and is a pillar of Rice's future, like most of these kids out there. And it was all a part of Coach Riker's plan. You talked earlier about how much experience he has, 25th year at Rice. and he knew when he had this group of guys coming in. And last year, remember looking at their lineup, a lot of sophomores, a lot of freshmen, a couple juniors. Really, the only seniors they had were their 2 arms. Other than that, all the position players were young.
Yeah. And
it was a youth movement for Rice, and we're starting to see what that's going to look like at a high level. And I think next year you'll have one of Rice's better teams in a very long time, dating back to the team in 2015 that had Nick Blummer and Alex Malzone and Matt Rupenthal, who's the older cousin of the Rupenthal on this team, who's in the Astros organization now. So you're starting to see a really talented Rice team start to come together.
This is the leadoff man, Cheeseman, and if you can get him on, he's got some wheels. 24 stolen bases this year, and he is on. So this is a threat to run. Kurt Barr didn't want to walk this cat. Here comes the number 5 hitter, Turansky, the DH.
And this is a situation where Coach Riker loves to get a ball down, loves to play a little small ball and manufacture. You mentioned the wheels that Cheeseman has. You got a lefty stick up who can probably drag it out of the box and turn what was normally a sacrifice maybe into an attempted bunt for hit. So we'll see what Riker draws up here. I would expect movement, though.
Brother Rice 19-8, looking for their 20th win of the year. There goes the runner, delayed steal, throw down to second, and not in time. Perhaps it was in time, but Purify couldn't hold on to it, and Service didn't get that thing out quick enough.
Yeah, the delayed steal is an old trick in an old book, but it comes up in the New Testament sometimes too. And here it is, perfected. It wasn't too delayed, but delayed enough, and that's just one hop sit. It is late. The throw is late, and Cheeseman gets there, the movement we expected.
25th stolen base of the year for Alex Cheeseman, who's in scoring position.
I wonder what Coach Riker's message is to his hitters in a 3-0 count like this. I know it's 2-0 in Catholic League, but 3-0 here. Do you give a green light to your left-handed stick with the guy on second, or are we taking early? It'll be interesting to see.
Turansky batting .235 on the year, 4 doubles, 10 runs driven in. Throw back to second, and trying to keep Cheeseman at bay, but I hate to say it, a base hit is going to score him either way.
And Kurt Barr, quite the competitor. The eye black dripping down the cheek there. See what he comes up with the battle back in a 3-0 count.
Squares to bunt, pulls it back. And first and second now with nobody out. Not the start of the second inning that Kurt Barr expected after he cruised through the first.
Let's see what the 6 hitter can do here. Right-handed bat. First and second, nobody out. I don't know how creative Coach Riker wants to get here. But it certainly is a hit and run type of scenario where maybe you want to get both runners on the move. You're risking too much there maybe with no outs. Let's see what he does. Maybe a bunt.
In at first. Barr, it is a firm bunt back to Kurt. Throw to first and nobody's covering. Reggie Sharp was late to get over, and it cost him. And the bases are now loaded after the well-executed bunt off the bat of Brother Rice.
Well, it's unique here at Copa today because there's some tarp out in front of home plate, and that makes this play all the more difficult for Kurt Barr. A well-executed late show of a sacrifice there, though, right in the tip of that tarp. And as you mentioned, Reggie Sharp just wasn't there. Maybe there was some confusion in what bunt play was on or bunt coverage was on, but this is a storm for Rice here. No outs, bases loaded, and so Kurt Barr trouble in finding the zone.
So that's Turner who gets on. Owen Turner with the bunt, and bases are now loaded with nobody out. And here comes Tristan Crane, 5'11", 170 sophomore, in a big spot here, Brandon.
Yeah, Tristan Crane was a guy who came onto the scene as a freshman last year for Rice and had some big ABs for them throughout the year. We'll see what he's made of here today.
Swing and a miss at an off-speed pitch. Preston Barr in at third. Jones in at first at the cutout.
Yeah, if you're Rice, you're hoping for anything but a ground ball right to someone. Make them move, hit a hole.
Crane pops it up down the right side. Jones giving chase, and that's going to bounce amongst the customers. And there aren't customers allowed down there, so it's going to be a race. We'll see if anybody goes over there. If I'm that kid, if it's 10-year-old Chad, I'm on that ball. And I mean, I know you'd probably be on it too.
Oh, absolutely.
I
I think
man of the
25-year-old me would be on it.
I think so too, and 45-year-old me too. Look at this guy. He's coping it out. He's going to get it. Keep an eye on him. There's a flare to right. Sharp going out and makes the over-shoulder catch. Here comes the runner headed home, and not in time. Service couldn't handle it. Sort of casually backhanded it. And in to score the game's first run is Alex Cheeseman on the sacrifice fly to right. And a gutsy heads-up play by the speedy Warrior.
Yeah, Oliver's service here just is a good throw. First off, the right fielder slips a little bit, recovers, makes the catch. Reggie Sharp makes the throw in. It's a good throw. But, again, you mentioned it. It looks like almost like a lackluster attempt at a tag there. You want to get your body in front of it, control the ball with 2 hands and make the tag, because if I'm a base runner and I see a one-hand tag from a catcher, I hate to say it, but I'm just going to punch it out.
With 1 out, this is a pop-up. And Sharp again, and it's a bluff from third. Holding is Turansky. So that's a big out. There's 2 outs now. Base is full on second and third, and they're not out of it yet. Here comes the big right-handed hitter for Brother Rice at the bottom of their lineup. Rupenthal. I believe we're getting a pinch hitter. Yeah, this is not the scheduled hitter due up. And so for some reason, Brother Rice has gone to their bench and pulled in a number 30 that we don't have.
Maybe this is some sort of secret weapon that's been hidden in the locker room all season for Coach Riker.
Well, the poor kid's going to have a hidden at bat because he's nameless.
Maybe it's DJ LeMahieu's evil twin. Who knows? We might find out. But if Kurt Barr is able to get out of this, bases loaded, no outs, with only a 1-0 score, that's got to be seen as a huge victory for Liggett, and should swing some momentum to the other side. I mean, hey, look, at the end of the day, you got to score to win. We've seen 2 teams unable to do that so far today. But Liggett has a lineup that suggests that they're going to find a way to. So if you can get out of this 1-0, you got to feel great.
Turansky at third. This is a pinch hitter who we do not have a number for. So it was a Roscoe due up the second baseman. This is not a Roscoe.
And the rules state Orozco can re-enter at second base. We'll see how they come out defensively. But starters can re-enter in the same spot. So there is an opportunity or a chance that happens.
The 1-0 is popped up with 2 outs. Barr near the net in the stands, and he runs out of real estate. And that's going to dabble into the Liggett dugout. So back to third goes Turansky. Back to second goes Turner.
We got a payoff pitch moment here. See what Kurt Barr's out pitch is. Maybe an inside fastball. He's got a lot of arm side run on it. Maybe he runs it in on the hands and draws something up to where he can. He's walked a couple of guys, so playing and toying around with waste pitches might not be his game right now. Like
28th pitch of the second of the game for Barr. Swung on and missed. That's going to get away from Service, and he'll have no play. So Oliver Service can't field it, and the strikeout doesn't matter. A run is in. It's 2-0 Brother Rice on the pass ball by Oliver Service after a strikeout.
Well, I don't know if there's a way to say this, but that might have been too good of a pitch. He drops that breaker, and it has about 10 to 12 inches of vertical break there from the shoulder down to the foot, and Service just can't handle it. The glove goes up too early, and on the come down, he can't stop it. We'll have a little bit of a team huddle. Brian Jones getting in Service's ear to let him know, hey, let's calm down. We're okay. It's 2-0. We can get out of this and recover just fine. Minimize. Let's minimize. It's got to be the message right now.
Yep, agree. The team meets without the coaching staff, and this is going to flip it to the top of the lineup with 2 runs in here in the bottom of the second. These 2 teams playing for the right to take on Catholic Central or Orchard Lake St. Mary's in Warrior Park next Wednesday night. There's a fly ball foul out of play down the left field side. The Catholic League semifinals, game 3 of 4 games today, right here on the Prep. So glad you're with us. Thanks for subscribing on our YouTube page.
See what Velasquez is made of here. Big spot for him to drive in a run and extend this to 3-0.
The pitch is a changeup, and Service couldn't bring it in. We saw Service struggle a bit defensively in the game we did against St. Mary's. down in Grosse Pointe. And then we saw him come back against St. Mary's in Orchard Lake. I know you weren't on that call, and he was flawless.
Right.
And so he calls a nice pitch here and frames it for strike 3. So Brother Rice is out, but not before they get a sac fly to right that scores the Speedy Cheeseman, and a strikeout ends up being a pass ball, and Rice turns it into their second run. We go to the top of the third, 2-0 Warriors.
What I could tell right off the start was that they were really about the player, and I just got out of high school, so I was using BB Core bats for the past 3 or 4 years. When y'all came to me, like, took my advice, trying to figure out like what we wanted, what I learned in high school about bats, and what I wish I had, it's like really cool to be a part of. I can't remember the last time that I hit balls that far with a BB Core bat or as hard. Definitely the best BB Core bat I've ever swung in my life. And I've swung plenty of BB Core bats. The numbers can prove it too, because the numbers that I was getting on my exit velos and the distance, I really didn't get close to that in some of the other BB Core bats. Yeah, just overall, it's been really fun. Know that you were a part of it and that a lot of kids are going to love to use it. Yeah, super excited.
Jaron Purify, along with Kurt Barr and Matthew Green and Reggie Sharp, all going blue. And a couple of seniors, a junior and a sophomore. Dan Samini with a bunch of pieces. And some gaudy numbers with those guys, but right now they're down 2-0 as we go to the third. Liggett won 14-0 over Rice in the first game of the year, and then Rice comes back and wins, what, 1-0, 2-0. Both pitchers threw no hitters, Kurt Barr and Alfredo Velasquez. But that was so long ago. That was back in late March or early April. We've come a long ways from then. What have we learned about Grosse Pointe Liggett and their move from AA last year up to the Central Division this year, where they finished third out of 6 teams?
Yeah, I mean, they're getting pushed. They're facing teams that are far more talented than the teams they were facing before, and they knew that. I mean, that's what they wanted to do. They wanted to elevate the competition, and as we just saw with their impact players, 4 Michigan commits, and there's still another one there, and there's still a Texas commit behind the plate, and there's a couple other guys that are pieces for them, Matthew Green, and the list goes on. So. You know, it's a team that wanted to challenge itself, and it has the personnel to challenge itself, and they're going to be year in, year out, because a lot of this production they have returns next season outside of a couple of guys. So it should be a year in, year out fun league to watch, as it's always been, but adding Liggett should only add to that competition.
This has popped up Orozco giving chase, and he holds on to it after he cut in front of the right fielder Rubenthal. So 1 out. And that'll turn it over to number 2, Jake Martin, the number 8 hitter.
Yeah, Jake Martin. Well, here's a nice little play here from Max Orozco, product of the D Las Vegas.
Good concentration.
Yep. Bob Riker coaches the D Las Vegas team, I believe an assistant coach of some magnitude. And
okay. Who play out of Warrior Park, do they not, in Troy?
Yes, correct. Yep, and talented team there. I think they won a national championship down in Louisville a couple of years ago. I think actually that might have been last summer. Here's Jake Martin. He's a catcher.
Swing and a miss for Martin. Robert Klan now with his 24th pitch, and he's cruised along in this.
Yeah, he's settled in, to say the least.
Has yet to give up a hit in this game.
Oh, knock on wood.
He struck out 3 and has yet to walk anybody. And control at times has been his Achilles heel, but not today. Martin looks at one low, and yep, I jinxed him. All right, I'll take it. If you believe in the broadcast, Jinx.
Oh, how could I?
I mean, if you believe in it, you can. Hey, look, everybody has their right.
I think.
How could you not after that proof, right?
Right. Clan's pacing and his rhythm has been impressive today. He's not so much quick pitching, but he is working quickly, and he's changing his tempos, and it's keeping the Liggett hitters off balance. Faces a talented hitter here in Joey Randazzo, part of the Little Caesars program in the summer circuit, a kid who's was on the Little League World Series team that went to Williamsport from Grosse Pointe, as well as a few of these other kids on this team as well. But this is a good bat-to-ball player who can find a gap.
It's a good time to mention that. This Liggett team is full of kids that made it to the Little League World Series in 2017 and 2018. You'll also recall the Taylor team, the Little League club that won it all.
Downriver, baby.
That's right. World Series champs. Swing and a miss. Joey Randazzo's out on strikes. 2 down for Liggett. Robert Clans collected his 4th K. And here comes the top of the order for Liggett, and this is the state's top junior. This is Jaron Purify, the Michigan commit, and this kid's got some whip in this stick. Really smooth-looking shortstop.
Not a lot of speed on first base in Martin, not really a base swiper, but I do wonder if Coach Cimini tries to maybe execute a hit and run here, or maybe dials up some movement at first base, because if he gets thrown out, worst comes to worst, you start your next inning at the top of your order rather than Purify leaving a guy on. So we'll see what he does here. Looks like no movement so far.
Clan has really had control of his off-speed pitches today to go with the command from the fastball. This guy's just a worker, a nice guy. Kyle Galley talks and raves about him, really likes the approach of Robert Clan. Had a complete game shutout against their rival Catholic Central. This is a guy that's going to play baseball at the next level. He is a pitcher and a tough competitor, and he's uncommitted. Go get him. There goes the runner. Pitch is too tall, and Liggett has moved the tying run to first base.
And this is a big moment for Liggett. This has probably been their most consistent hitter along with Purify all season, and that's Matthew Green. As good of a gap-to-gap guy as you're going to see in this tournament. And Matthew Green has come up clutch in many scenarios. Last year in the state final, he had 5 RBIs, broke a state record for the most, I believe tied a state record, for the most RBIs in a state championship setting in the MHSAA. Clan elevates a fastball there, and he swings through it. So pressure's on here, but Matthew Green is definitely the guy Coach Cimini wants up in this scenario, no doubt.
Headed to Michigan, 4.25 GPA. This is a definition of a student athlete. First and second, edges off, swing and a miss. Clan with another K, 2nd of the inning, 5th of the game, and the Warriors walking off with a pretty clean 3rd inning. Let's go in the bottom half of the 3rd from Comerica Park in Detroit. We are the Prep.
Rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start?
Here, in the classroom.
On the diamond.
In the pool.
On the field.
Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah! Be great.
Participate!
Brother Rice, 19-8 on the season. Division I, 590 is their enrollment. All boys. Bob Reichert, his 25th year, all-time winningest head coach at Brother Rice. And he's been a part of their titles. 08 was his. Ron Kalzinski won it in 94-92. DJ LeMahieu, you may have heard of him. He's a 2007 grad of this fine institution, Brother Rice. Of course, 2-time Gatorade Player of the Year College World Series all-tournament team at LSU, second-round pick, and the rest is history. He won a batting title, I believe, a year ago? Last year? 2 years ago?
Yeah, and he's been a staple of the league for many years now. Of course, his time at the Rockies was when he started to become more recognizable and translated that to a terrific career with the Yankees as well.
Swing and a miss, out on strikes is Ryan King. And is that Tribal or King? I got number 21 listed as Ryan King, but I think that's Tribal. Nonetheless, we'll see the LeMahieu's on Wednesday. By the way, what a job the LeMahieu's have done to make Warrior Park the home of Brother Rice, and the funding of it and doing a lot of the maintenance. And Tom LeMahieu, the gatekeeper of that facility, who keeps it so nice and tight. There's a shot down the left field line. That's for extra bases. This is Tyler Fox, the sophomore. And he goes oppo. And he's in scoring position now and looking to add to the 2-0 Brother Rice lead with 1 out here in the third.
It looks like he might have hurt something. Not sure what it is, but he's limping over to the first base coach, Coach Galley. Goes the other way here, puts it in a perfect spot. Had he had an extra leg, you know, he would have ran to third, but between first and second, something went wrong with that ankle, or you can see it there, maybe a knee. It's unfortunate after such a big hit. He can't be courtesy ran for, so this is a pinch run situation. He can re-enter as a starter if and when he is okay, but certainly hope the injury isn't serious after such a big hit to lead off the inning for Rice. Well,
yeah. Are we missing Dowd in this game? We have not seen Braden Dowd. I believe that might have been part of the, I'm not missing it. Kevin Matthews will come on and pinch run, the senior and the pride of Powell Middle School. Runner on at second with 1 out, and we got another substitution here.
Looks like it is an ankle thing here. He's getting his mobility checked out. Look at the details of the cameramen we're getting today.
Yeah, we've got some talent out there. That's Windblown Dev, giving you some nice looks. And we also got Nathaniel down there. We got a great crew. Kyle Buchanan. These people know what they're doing. Alex Westfall's the one mixing it. Brandon Cardenas on replay. And partner, a big spot for Brother Rice with a runner in scoring position now and Cheeseman at the plate.
Yeah, 1 out. This is as big as it gets. At this stage of the game, you're just trying to extend your lead and keep stretching that out. You know the bats that Liggett has in their lineup. And once they get through that lineup a couple of times, maybe start to figure Clan out. And that's a team that can come up with late game heroics, that can put together some hits with the stretch that they go to of good hitters from top to bottom. So we'll see what Rice can do here. But cashing in a check, as they say, the runner in scoring position would be pretty integral to their victory.
Yeah, it would. Cheeseman, who runs well and scored a run back in the second inning, looks at one upstairs. Full count now, runner at second. And the on-deck circle is Ryan Turansky. The numbers for Kurt Barr headed to Michigan. He's about to throw his 39th pitch. He's given up 2 hits and 1 earned run. He's walked 2 and has struck out 4. Pitches outside. He's now walked 5. And this is not what you want to do against Brother Rice, a team that's very patient, a team that can run well, really a grimy, gritty team that just wants to score runs and take advantage.
Yeah, and again, a left-handed stick is up with first and second runners. You know, there's 1 out, so you're not automatically going to the bunt. But I wonder with, you know, the lefties being able to get out of the box far quicker than a righty on the bunt, if they put one down, maybe they'll do a hit and run, swing and a miss, so it doesn't look like anything's on.
Yeah.
But you wonder if maybe they'll move some runners here. Lefty in the box, you're not going to dry steal, you're not going to straight steal. It'd be a hit and run situation. Oliver Service hasn't had the best game so far, but the strong arm is pretty undeniable, and you'd like to avoid that.
Turansky, the lefty, awaits the righty Kurt Barr. And he drives it to right center field, hit hard. Green going back, and he won't get it. It's up the gap. This is going to score a couple. Matthews around to score. Cheeseman right behind him. Headed to third is Turansky, and it's a 2-run triple for the sophomore.
And that's just a great piece of hitting. If my eyes correct me well and serve me well, that ball was at the letters. and driven right through the zone. Let's take a look. Yep, just gets it right at that, almost like he pulled a little bit of an outside pitch and puts it in the perfect spot to put a ball in Comerica Park. If you can't put it over the wall, put it to right center. It's the deepest part of the park. Best place to hit the ball here if you want to keep running. And Matthew Green, as well as he's been in center field this year for Liggett, wasn't catching up to that.
Gets beat deep, and now the infield will be drawn in. 4-0. Brother Rice, bottom of the third.
This is crunch time for Liggett. You know, again, you have to minimize in these situations, and they've done a decent job of that so far, but, you know, leaving that fifth runner out there, that fifth run would be huge for them.
Line shot to left, that's a base hit. Into score comes Turansky. Back-to-back extra base hits for Rice, and they're up by a handful in Motown with a guy still in scoring position and less than 2 outs.
And here comes Dan Samini out here to talk to Kurt Barr, who is struggling right now and allowing these 5 runs. We haven't seen a lot of offense today. We've seen 2 3-0 games. So the 5-run output out of Rice here early in the third inning is encouraging if you're Coach Riker and pretty discouraging if you're Coach Samini. He's going to go out there and have a conversation with these guys. And, you know, the message is, again, I still think the message has to be to minimize. At this point, like, there's nothing else you can do. These 5 runs have scored. Keep it at that. We have a lineup that can go score those runs back in an inning or so. We've seen Liggett do it before against Orchard Lake. This team is resilient. They can come back from games like this. You can see how encouraging they still are in a deficit like this. But, you know, important for them to get out of this inning and find a way back into this game.
Well, they've been no hits so far. Clan has been perfect. It's been the perfect combination for Brother Rice as we look at the Central Division. And this is a division that St. Mary's won, but Brother Rice finished second, Liggett third, Catholic Central, who will match up with St. Mary's fourth, and then De La Salle and UAD fifth and sixth to round out a very competitive Central, and what most would say is the best division in the state. Would you agree with that? You cover cold weather baseball, and I mean, is there a challenge? Is there even a thought?
You know, season by season, it's case by case, but I think this year, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, this year.
I mean, Brother Rice, Liggett, Orchard Lake, those are 3 of your 10 best teams in the state. I know that in our latest rankings we have Liggett a bit lower, but those are 3 of the 10 most talented teams in the state. And U of D, who's at the bottom of this division, can go out and beat most teams in the state too. You know, Dylan Larkin's a Michigan commit, left-handed hitter.
And they have. They beat Brother Rice.
So the top to bottom talent is undeniable in that league.
Yep. Swing and a pitch in the dirt. That will stay up. This is number 24, Tristan Crane. And look, Liggett dropped a bit. Rice dropped a bit in our polls. They're taking losses. But I can promise you this. Strength of schedule is better than anybody else in the top 10. I mean, but you have to move them down because they've taken so many L's. But, you know, you look at some of these other teams and who they're playing in their league, and it's just not the same competition. Swing and a miss. Kurt Barr gets a K. It is Kurt with a K, by the way, and it's out number 2 for Liggett.
Yeah, when you have these two, or any experienced head coach, you can see their schedule and get an idea of how they view their season. And both coaches, Coach Riker and Coach Samini, schedule tough to try their best to challenge their guys throughout the season. And you're playing 35, upwards of 35, 40 games a year. You know, that season it drags on. You're bound to lose a couple along the way.
Sure.
It's what you learn from those losses, because what matters, Mr. Bush, what matters? The playoffs, right? The playoffs matter. It doesn't matter if you go 40-0 and then there's
playoffs.
Doesn't matter if you go 40-0 in the regular season and you lose in the regional final. You lost. You didn't win. What's the crown, right? What's the crown? I think Coach Griesbaum at Grosse Pointe South has a great saying. You know, you challenge yourself. You learn from the losses in there, because the year they won state in 2018, Grosse Pointe South, they did not win their league. But what matters? What matters? The ring. The ring is what matters.
That's it. Grosse Pointe Liggett has 6 rings, by the way, in their history. There's a ground ball left side. That's a base hit. That's through the hole. And they are going to hold the runner at third. Alex Tribal is going to hang tight. Bob Riker kept him at third. And the hits continue to come. This one by way of Wyatt Rupenthal. That's his second hit of the game.
Rice is getting help from the top of their lineup, they're getting help from the bottom of their lineup, and they've even gotten some help from the middle of their lineup. The whole order has hit today. I think the majority of their batters have seen a base today. Now they go to Max Orozco, who was pinch hit for in the the second inning, but can re-enter according to the rules, and that's exactly what he's doing here, and gets to hit in this spot with 2 outs with a chance to extend this lead some more.
So Orozco batting for the first time, trying to drive in that runner from third. 5-0 Rice, 2 in the second, 3 here in the third. Runners at the corners. Rupenthal at first, Fleury at third, and that one's lifted foul out of play for the sophomore second baseman, Max Orozco. Again, all sophomores and juniors in this starting lineup for Rice.
Yeah, it's a youth movement at Brother Rice in that Warrior Park, and it's translated well to Comerica. These guys are hitting the ball all over, finding gaps left and right.
There goes the runner. Service will bluff, and Rupenthal will nearly fall for it, but stays up. So second and third now on a full count to Max Orozco, the second baseman. The leadoff man waiting in the on-deck circle is Alfredo Velasquez. He would love to see the bases loaded. Not yet.
Yeah, a simple little poke out to in between the infielder and the outfielder here might score 2.
Swing and a miss. Big strikeout for Barr, who comes back to get Orozco in strand 2. But not before. Brother Rice breaks through with the trifecta. And they've grown this lead to 5 runs through 3 innings.
We begin with your dream, your drive, your grit, the heart and vision of every member of your team. We take it all, and from those threads of greatness, we weave a uniform of a champion. In many ways, our sport is just like yours. We've brought together a team of elite designers. We've put in the time and the sweat, perfecting our craft over 14 years. We've outfitted thousands of teams for thousands of victories, approaching each new project, each new game, like it's the only one we'll ever play. And let's be honest, we've done it all with a quality so unmatched that some can't help but call it perfection. You know, it's more than just a shirt. Look like a champion, play like a champion. A champion powered by the G. Hashtag G-Brand USA. G-Brand USA. Elite design, unmatched quality, American pride. We're proudly made in the USA.
Grosse Pointe Liggett, 612 kids in that co-ed school. Dan Samiti, the head coach, in his 18th season. 5 state titles for him, 6th for the entire school. And that's the most in the MHSAA. Very impressive. Won it first in '79, won it last year. Will Morrison, you might recall, the Western Michigan Broncos, still playing. 3-time All-State selection and a part of that 2016 state championship club.
Yeah, and Dan Samini is a staple of Grosse Pointe baseball and Liggett especially.
And athletics as well. The athletic director, and Dan coached football at Liggett up until what, a couple years ago? He gave up football, but he's got a nice run on the gridiron as well. He can do it all. He's the pride of Grosse Pointe South High School, former center fielder for Dan Griesbaum.
Yeah, Dan Samini might as well have passion tattooed on his forehead, because that's he commands a room with it. Loves the game, loves coaching the game, loves winning the games, and he's a fierce competitor. And it translates to his players. His players, embody his heart.
Strike 3 called. Oliver Service tried to sell it, but the home plate umpire wasn't buying. The fellow Powder Blue says, "I'm not on your squad." Strikeout.
Yeah, it's a perfect pitch on the inside corner here. Let's get another look at it. And that's a strike, my friend.
Yep.
I mean, not a lot of movement with the glove. Just a catch. and that's strike 3.
The wind is whipping, and Pat Bush says it's right around a 10 to 15 mile an hour gust. Is that right? As his silver foxish hair floats in this Comerica wind. Take it easy, Pops.
My hair's not quite as gray as Pat the Stats, but it's getting there.
No, it's getting there at 25, but
rough.
that fresh fade hides it well.
And that's what every 3 weeks. Otherwise, I'm in trouble. Sometimes even 2. Just depends how well the bank account's doing because the barber charges me well. He does his job, though.
Oh, it's awesome. It looks good, my man. You got some good lettuce. Doesn't matter how it turns out color-wise, trust me.
It's going to be gray, but it's going to be there.
That's what they told me.
It's half the battle.
And they weren't lying yet. There's a pop-up to first base. Tyler Fox handles it. And there are 2 outs. Mr. Clan has a no-hitter going here in the 4th.
He's settled in, to say the least. We've seen 3 stellar pitching performances today. Clan is the 3rd one of the bunch.
There's a drive foul by Preston Barr. He's committed to Michigan as well. He's the sophomore younger brother of the pitcher, Kurt Barr.
Yeah, and Preston can stick it well. He's, we'll see where he fits in at Michigan. Might be on the mound, might be both, might just be at the plate. But, he plays a good infield over at third base with a strong arm. Swings the stick well. Doesn't swing at bad pitches. Has a good knack for pitch selection, especially at a young age. So he's certainly going to fit in well in Ann Arbor.
Started last year as a freshman on that state championship club. Ground ball to second. Orozco gets the glove down, flips it over, and that's it. Bob Riker baseball. Catch it, throw it, make the right plays. Brother Rice coming to bat in the bottom of the 4th. They've got a 5-0 lead. As we roll on from Comerica Park in Detroit. Thanks so much for watching here on The Prep.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 300,000 participants here in Michigan who take part in high school sports.
Pure Barre is a full-body workout that transforms you, physically and mentally. Our musically driven group classes focus on low-impact, small movements that strengthen and tone your entire body in 50 minutes or less. Anyone is capable of taking Pure Barre, no matter your age or fitness level, and no dance experience is required.
Kurt Barr back out for his 4th inning of work. His club leads it. Right now, his club trails at 5-0. Liggett getting no hit. Brother Rice has scored in every inning but the first. And they'll look to add on here with the top of their lineup coming up.
It's a good place to start for Rice. Sitting in a spot where they're at 5-0, but you got to extend that lead. Can't be satisfied.
Alfredo pounds one into the ground, and it's scooped up and played by Jones. And Ryan touches the toe on the bag for the out.
There's a 25-year man, Coach Riker, a staple of Brother Rice. You talk Brother Rice baseball, you talk Bob Riker. Knows the game well.
These guys play the game well, don't they? Scrappy teams, run the bases. Young guys that really compete. He loves this club, Brandon.
Yeah, absolutely, and he knew last year how young this team was, and he was just all in on the youth movement, and it's going to pay off for them in the long run. Whether it's this year or next year or what have you, they've got a couple of years of having a team that we talked about it with Cardinal Mooney. Even though they came up short in the Catholic League semifinals, experience, not just in experience playing baseball, but playing together, returning production when it comes to a baseball team.
Yeah.
Because it's an individual sport in that you are at the plate on your own and you are playing defense on your own, essentially covering your spot. But it's so team-oriented, right? We know that. We know how important chemistry is. It's so infectious. The energy, hits are infectious. It all works together.
And this one is misjudged and misplayed. You had Barr coming over Preston, and you had Purify coming over. It looked like Purify overran it and slipped and couldn't recover.
Well, let's get a look here. He's going to run it down. He knows that Barr's against his body. And, yeah, just overran it. Slipped on the dirt there.
There's wind playing a big part of that, by the way. That looks like a gong show Bad News Bears play, but when you realize there's 15 to 17 mile an hour wind gusts right now, major leaguers would do that too.
It's picked up a bunch because those
Big
first
time.
2 games, not so much. But this game, you've seen about a 8 to 10 mile an hour increase in the wind gusts.
Yep. So this is quite the at-bat going on right now between Braden Dowd, and Kurt Barr.
And Dowd's one of those guys who can continue to break this game open.
Pops it up, and this one's going to get back amongst the Brother Rice dugout off the facing, and fan from Westland take it home.
Nice at bat here from Dowd, battling. Gets a mistake pitch. He can drive it. He's got power behind the bat. Gap-to-gap guy, but went yard at Jimmy John's Field last year, dead center. So he's got what it takes to put a ball deep.
Sure does. And he has really tattooed Catholic League pitching this year. Barr now at 66 pitches, continuing to climb in this inning. That pitch count, full count now.
You have to wonder who Liggett would go to. Who is their reliever today? Maybe it's Blake Illich, the young freshman. Maybe it's Jack Jones, the other starter. Maybe it's Preston Barr, the younger brother of Kurt. Maybe it's Matthew Green, the center fielder. A lot of options. We've got somebody in the pen.
It's Illich.
It is Illich.
You are correct, sir. That one's fouled upstairs in the upper deck where no one is allowed. There's 4 sections open today. Section 125 through section 119. Is that right?
Yeah, and you know what? If it was the St. Mary's game, they might have to open more for the scouts, of which there will be many.
Yes, there were 7 foul balls now in this at-bat, as Dowd is going to limp this and walk this thing off. Dowd 0 for 2 today, and that one doesn't tickle. Braden Dowd, who's a fine athlete, is in some serious pain here. And this takes away one of his tools.
Yeah, and he's got speed, as you mentioned there, and here it is, just, right off that right foot. And you've seen a lot more guys wearing shin guards these days, and that's why. But Dowd not in one, and he'll walk this off, and he's had such a good at-bat. So you hope he's okay long term. I'm sure he is, just shaking off the bruise there. Goes back into what's been a long at-bat, an at-bat that he's had to fight to extend, and continues to stretch out this pitch count of Kurt Barr's that's already at 69 pitches here and approaching 70 on this next pitch. The trainer for Rice comes out. Dowd will head back to the box with an opportunity to win what's been certainly a quab. And for those at home that aren't familiar with quab, quality at-bats. Something that a lot of teams track, a lot of college teams especially. I was lucky enough to play for Coach Todd Zalk at Trenton, who taught me what a quab was when I was 14.
Yeah, it's good to know that.
Valuing him ever since.
Dowd with one of those here, and he finishes it off.
You'd think.
With a full count.
You'd think that was ball 4 with how long this at-bat has been. Because I thought it was too.
Brandon, I was sure it was a walk.
I was sure that was it.
It's now full.
Poor guy's got to stay in there again.
Got him on strikes. Barr wins that one, but a statement made by Dowd with his toughness and his stick-to-itiveness to take that to a, 12-pitch at-bat, says Pat the stat? Wow.
That was quite the battle. Anytime you see a count go 12 pitches, You just got to tip your cap to both guys, the hitter and the pitcher. Those two guys see each other after the game. I'm sure they'll tip caps as well. It's just a nice battle.
Yep. 5-0 Brother Rice leads. And this will bring up Tyler Fox, who's 1 for 2 today in this ball game. Nobody on, 2 men out as we've reached the midway point of this contest.
This game not moving as quickly as our other two, which is not a problem because...
For who?
We were due for some fun. I guess I do have the least amount of responsibility here. I don't know anything that's going on elsewhere.
Watch yourself now, Brandon.
I know baseball. That's about it. We were standing up there before the game, and I was looking at all these funky little dials.
There's a pop out to shallow center field to end the top or the bottom of the 4th inning. Let's go to the top of the 5th. We got a no-hitter brewing. Don't you dare go anywhere. This is the prep.
What I could tell right off the start was that they were really about the player. And I just got out of high school, so I was using BB Corps bats for the past 3 or 4 years. When y'all came to me, took my advice, trying to figure out what we wanted, what I learned in high school about bats, and what I wish I had, it's really cool to be a part of. I can't remember the last time that I hit balls that far with a BB Corps bat or as hard. Definitely the best BB Corps bat I've ever swung in my life. And I've swung plenty of BB Corps bats. The numbers can prove it too, because the numbers that I was getting on my exit velos and the distance, I really didn't get close to that in some of the other BB Corps bats. Yeah, just overall, it's been really fun. Know that you were a part of it and that a lot of kids are going to love to use it. Yeah, super excited.
Welcome back to Comerica Park. 5th inning about to get underway. And this is the right-handed hitting Ryan Jones, one of 2 Jones brothers. Robert Clan out. He's been the story for Brother Rice, as that one's chopped foul. Clan has got a head of hitters. He's been impressive in this game. And through 4 innings, he has 7 strikeouts and 2 walks. He has not given up a hit and not given up a run.
He's been dominant, to say the least, right? From the first pitch till now, not much has wavered. He's been confident. And again, you keep talking about it. Calm, cool, and collected. All 3 of these guys that we've seen dominate today in the first 3 games of the day.
He's given up just 2 over the minimum. He's faced 14 batters. He did not go, says your first base umpire.
Ryan Jones been hot with the stick this season. Catcher who doubles as a first baseman and plays some outfield as well.
He thought he struck out there. We've got a 22-mile-an-hour wind right now. It feels like 87. And a little bit of humidity out there. That's at 62%.
Walks.
Third walk.
Jones athletic enough to where Samini can trust him on the move, whether it's a hit and run or maybe a delayed steal, maybe get creative. But with no outs, down by 5, I don't know. Do you just let him swing it? Do you just let the runs kind of manufacture themselves? You got a phenomenal bunter in Reggie Sharp. Maybe you do that. I'm not quite sure.
I think if you're, I'll get to it in a moment. This is not a double play ball. 2nd for 1 and no chance to get the speedy Reggie Sharp. But my thought is I don't know. I get Mr. Clan out of the game. I mean, he's been so dominant. I take an extra pitch. I'll get him out of there, especially the bottom third of my order. Reggie Sharp's not your typical bottom of the 3rd order, but I don't know if I get him swinging in that first pitch.
Yeah, I don't know if you. It's tough because in the Catholic League you can't. You take one and all of a sudden you're in a 1-2 count.
That's right.
So it's a tough place to be in as a coach. But I agree with you. The goal right now, and the best long-term plan to winning this ball game if you're Liggett down 5-0 in the fifth is what you said, to get Clan out of this game somehow, some way. It hasn't happened with the bats yet. Maybe it'll happen with working counts or what have you.
Ooh, that one hit somebody in the 6th row right in the back. She tried to get out of the way. Can we get another look at that? I hope she's okay.
Well, she indicates that it hit her hat.
She said it hit her hat? Okay. She tapped her cap. Don't the kids do that now?
Tap the cap.
Oh,
tap the bill of the cap.
Tap the bill of the cap.
But yeah, that means top of the order. If you're tapping the tap of your helmet.
Okay. Did it get her?
Oh, no, you're right. Did get it right in the back.
Her right in the back.
Wow. She ate it, though. She was laughing it off. So whoever she is, tough cookie.
Real tough cookie.
Meanwhile, Reggie Sharp's at second now.
Yep. That's tougher than a tab at Portofino's on a Friday night.
Portofino's.
Swinging a chopper. Oh, you didn't think I knew about one of the gems at Downriver.
Look, there's been a lot of Downriver talk today with not a lot of Downriver teams here, and I love it personally. anytime we can give some exposure to one of the hidden treasures of our country, not just our state.
No, I believe it.
Of our country. I'm all for it. Yeah, Portofino's fantastic restaurant.
Pat, the stats, been to that joint a couple times. He's a big fan of it. So am I. Runner on at second, 2-1 count. Swinging a chopper left side, and that is going to be knocked down. That'll be an infield hit for Liggett. So that's a base hit by Martin. Advancing to third is Sharp, and so Liggett has their first hit of the day. The no-no is gone, and Liggett has some momentum as Dan Cimini wants to go to his bench.
Yeah, Jake Martin, what a fantastic story this is, Chad, because Jake Martin is not a starter for this team at the beginning of the season. He was on JV last year. He's a catcher who's not playing catcher today, hasn't played it a ton this year behind Oliver Service and behind Ryan Jones, but comes up there in a big spot where they need anything. Like, just Dan Cimini is sitting at third base right now, like, give me anything.
Yep.
And he got something there out of Jake Martin, and as soon as he flies through first base, looks at his dugout for some energy, gets it, and now all your Liggett guys are up. Everyone's going, and this is it right here. This is your fifth inning. This is, can we cut this in half? Maybe you don't get all the way to 5, but cut this in half and make it manageable. In the 2 games prior, earlier today, we saw 2 teams in similar spots like this where they had opportunities, couldn't cut the lead in half, and when you get to the 7th inning and you're down 5 or you're down 3, it gets a little insurmountable.
Yeah.
Cut this in half, make this comeback manageable, and give your team a chance to potentially win this ball game here.
Word. Dan Cimini's gone to his bench. By the way, Cimini's assisted by Joe Loria and Diggs Edwards. He's going to bring into the game Neil Murphy to pinch hit for Randazzo. And he grounds it up the middle. Well played by Brother Rice. Second for 1. Relay to first, and it's a Warrior double play. How about it? 6-4-3 to end the 5th. Flashing some leather are the Warriors of Brother Rice. Check this out.
Great play by Max Orozco here. The flip, the turn. That's how you got out of the jam.
4-6-3. Reggie Sharp can't believe it. Rice has it rolling. Let's go to the bottom half of 5-0.
Begin with your dream, your drive, your grit, the heart and vision of every member of your team. We take it all, and from those threads of greatness, we weave a uniform of a champion. In many ways, our sport is just like yours. We've brought together a team of elite designers. We've put in the time and the sweat, perfecting our craft over 14 years. We've outfitted thousands of teams for thousands of victories, approaching each new project, each new game, like it's the only one we'll ever play. And let's be honest, we've done it all with a quality so unmatched that some can't help but call it perfection. You know, it's more than just a shirt. Look like a champion, play like a champion. A champion powered by the G. Hashtag GBrandUSA. GBrandUSA. Elite design, unmatched quality, American pride. We're proudly made in the USA.
So here comes Brother Rice in the bottom half of the fifth. The winner of this one will play at Brother Rice's home field. Purify fields a grounder and throws errantly. Wide of the bag. And down to second for Brother Rice is Alex Cheeseman, the leadoff man. So an error by the top junior in the state of Michigan, headed to the University of Michigan. And we'll get another look at this thing.
Yeah, and there's also a player down here. Ryan Jones is up and fighting through it, but he took an elbow to the head. Completely incidental on the turn here, but you'll see it on replay. Purify just wide to the left, right there. Not as bad as it looked, but he did go down for a second there.
Looks like he just touched his shoulder, but yeah, there could have been more to it.
Right. Well, there's a bunt.
Squares to bunt, and Oliver Service says thank you very little. Catches it behind home plate, and there's quickly one out, unable to sacrifice the runner to third. Fine play by the Texas commit, Oliver Service.
Tell you what, I'm still really confused by the tarp in front of home plate. Every time I see it, it confuses me a little bit more.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem right. It was here yesterday for the PSL games that were played. Detroit Osborne was here.
It's a big spot again for Rice. Anytime you can extend your lead.
Sharp grounder up the middle. Purify throws wild again. Jones goes wide and keeps that toe on it, but thanks to his 6'3" frame. So Purify a smooth glove, but the arm has been erratic here in this fifth inning. Back-to-back plays.
And there's some old schoolers out there, and there's some new schoolers out there. And the old schoolers don't like this arm angle from Purify because it's going to drag out a little bit to the left and fade away from your first baseman. It's hard to track as a first baseman. It's like being a catcher and catching onto some arm side run. You're just not used to it. It's hard to pick up on a throw there. And it's just getting away from him right now. And, you know, as an infielder, an arm angle like that is pretty common nowadays to come from that angle. But maybe he's just getting too around it with the grip. Maybe it's coming off the release a little bit too late. Whatever it may be, it's happened twice in a row now.
Yeah.
But a heck of a play by Ryan Jones at first base to keep the foot on there. And I do think he did. I know that there was some questions from the crowd, but I think he held the foot on, and he's played a pretty solid first base all season for Liggett.
Yes, he has. Kurt Barr is facing Tristan Crane, who's 0 for 2 today. Has a chance for an RBI. This one is going to be out of reach even for Mr. Jones, who is chasing it along with Reggie Sharp. $5-0 Brother Rice. The loser in all the games thus far has been shut out. 3-0 in game 1. Lutheran North knocked off Shrine. Game 2, last game we saw, 3-0 win by Divine Child. And this one also pitching a shutout, 5-0. Foul tipped into the glove, strike 3. So out on strikes is Crane. Kurt Barr with a strikeout. And that ends the 5th inning. Barr with his 9th strikeout of the game to end the 5th. We go to the top of the 6th inning in downtown Detroit.
We begin with your dream, your drive, your grit, the heart and vision of every member of your team. We take it all, and from those threads of greatness, we weave a uniform of a champion. In many ways, our sport is just like yours. We've brought together a team of elite designers. We've put in the time and the sweat, perfecting our craft over 14 years. We've outfitted thousands of teams for thousands of victories, approaching each new project, each new game, like it's the only one we'll ever play. And let's be honest, we've done it all with a quality so unmatched that some can't help but call it perfection. You know, it's more than just a shirt. Look like a champion, play like a champion. A champion powered by the G. Hashtag GBrandUSA. GBrandUSA. Elite design, unmatched quality, American pride. We're proudly made in the USA.
Welcome back to Comerica Park. My name is Chad Bush. Brandon Justice on color commentary today. He's out of Cold Weather Bats. If you have not checked out Cold Weather Bats, go find them. Tell them how to find them, Brandon.
Yeah, you can find us on anywhere you listen to a podcast, whether that be Apple Podcasts or Spotify or Podbean or wherever you want to listen to a podcast, you will find Cold Weather Bats. It's been a ton of fun building up Cold Weather Bats with my partner, Brian Sikowski, Perfect Games national cross-checker and a former assistant coach for Orchard Lake St. Mary's, helped build that program to where it's at with Coach Petrie, a guy that I've learned a lot from and respect quite a bit. And it's just been a blast building that. We strive to be a place that grows the game of Michigan baseball, but puts a spotlight on our state and all the talent that we have. And I feel like baseball has not been covered to the degree that companies like the Prep and like Cold Weather Bats have been able to cover it. And it's well-deserved for these kids because they've just been so tremendous, and the coaches have been so tremendous. So we're so happy to be able to do it.
You guys doing a fabulous job, and pioneers and trendsetters to give more attention to the sport of baseball at the high school level in the state of Michigan. You guys do a wonderful job. I appreciate you both. Brian Sikowski's his partner, and we had Sack on the air. He did a fine job a couple weeks ago, and he's driving through this wonderful country. And we appreciate all his work as well. I know you have fun working with Brian, and he talked about his Riverview Gabriel Richard heritage and a lot of Catholic League love.
And he's had to teach me about some Catholic League stuff because, as you know, I'm a public school junkie.
That's right. There's a ground ball that's fair down the left field line. Digging for extra bases is Matthew Green, and he's there with a one-out double here in the top of the sixth.
Yeah, and something had to give for Liggett in extra base hits. They hadn't had one today. I mean, only one hit overall. And who else but Matthew Green, the extra base hit machine himself. He had dozens of them for us last summer. He had plenty for Liggett last school year. And here's a look at what he does. You know, he kind of pulls off it a little bit and gets a little bit too ahead of it than he'd like. But you hit that third baseline, and more times than not, your speed's going to help you get to second when you run like Matthew Green runs.
Good speed for the 4.25 student, future Michigan Wolverine. And that'll bring up Oliver Service, who does have long ball power. The future Longhorn knocked one out of Dan Petrie Field against St. Mary's a few weeks ago to show off that power. There's an awkward throwback to second base, but it all does the same. Robert Klan has been the story of this game for Brother Rice.
Yeah, and that seems to be a reoccurring theme in today's Catholic League championships. We saw it with Pretzer from Lutheran North in Game 1. We saw it from Owen Avery from Devon Child in Game 2.
This one is hit high and shallow to left field, and that'll be handled by Alfredo in medium depth, high school left field. 2 outs now, runners still at second. Liggett looking for their first run. Nice day for baseball, 87 degrees, a little bit of cloud cover, some humidity. We might climb up to 90. The temperatures are supposed to climb by the hour as we lead up to the next ball game. And that's Orchard Lake St. Mary's, #1 team in the state, #1 in the country, according to Collegiate Baseball. And they will take on Detroit Catholic Central. The Shamrocks are in the house. St. Mary's did beat CC all 4 attempts this year. Eaglets have won over 50 games in a row. I think it's 52 games in a row now. I'll have that fact straight before the game, but bottom line, you won't want to catch, or you will want to catch St. Mary's and Catholic Central after this.
Yeah, absolutely. And we just talked about the talent that this state has in baseball. And St. Mary's is, you know, the poster child of it all. You know, they're the ones standing in the front and representing the state at a national level, and there's other teams doing it too behind them, and so many teams. You know, Goodrich is a team that's 26-0 right now. And you probably never heard of the city Goodrich if you're listening at home, but they're 26-0, and they're a team that can compete in the state. And there's so many other teams
Martians
as well. The Martians.
The Martians are coming.
One of my favorite mascots. Probably the best mascot. I hope that they have a mascot, like a physical mascot. I know that those.
Martian. Do you think they got an actual Martian?
If they don't, just saying, I'm willing.
Would you?
I'm free during football season. Give me a call.
You put on the kazoo hat?
I'll put on the kazoo hat. Don't tell the Bears that don't tell Wyandotte that I'm there. I'll come be a Martian for the night, gladly. I'll gladly wear some Goodrich pride. And they just won the league behind Noah Keller, Cornell commit.
Okay, how about that? Have they snuck into your rankings yet?
Snuck in, brother. They're like 11th.
Are they really?
Oh,
Okay.
they've been they've been there for a few weeks now. I think 3 or 4 weeks they've climbed up, but they're 26-0, and I think they're up into the top 10 now this week. And they just had an extraordinary season. And Noah Keller's been at the top for them. He's a lefty, humming
Division
it up to
1,
89. Goodrich, no, I believe they're D3.
Okay.
I'll have to triple check on that. It's 4 divisions, a million teams per division.
No, man, you guys cover it and cover it all. I'm throwing some off-speed stuff now.
I got to sit back and drive it, though.
You will.
We'll see what Liggett can do here. First and second, no runs, but 2 outs.
There's a ground ball up the middle, base hit. Coming in to score is Matthew Green. Here comes a throw to the plate, not in time. And Liggett has broken the seal here in the 6th with an RBI single.
And finally, we can say it, both teams have scored for the first time today. In Game 3, we've got both teams scoring. Here's the hit. Something up the middle here for Barr. Right to the center fielder, Dowd, but it's just too slow of a build-up. You're sending Matthew Green 10 times out of 10 there with his speed. It works out for him. And finally, somebody comes up in a big moment there, and now you need Ryan Jones to follow that up, because here you go. You get a similar hit to that. Any kind of base knock here, you're probably going to score your run from second, and you can cut this lead not in half, but close to it. And
sure.
Three runs is a lot easier to overcome than 4 in your last inning. I mean, that's just simple math.
It feels more obtainable. There's an off-speed pitch by Clan, gets the strikeout, and the door is shut. But the seal is broken. Despite Clan's 9th strikeout, he does give up 3 hits in the inning and his first run. But at the end of 5.5 innings, it's Brother Rice still with a 4-run lead.
As the voice of Michigan student athletes, the Student Advisory Council's role
is to convey the message of how high school sports are supposed to be played.
We are responsible for helping the MHSAA maintain a positive and healthy atmosphere
so that interscholastic athletes may thrive.
We believe athletes should be competitive,
sportsmanlike, and excel academically.
We believe students in the stands should have fun,
but not take the focus away from the game.
We believe coaches should act as teachers,
helping student athletes develop while still keeping high school sports in perspective.
We believe that parents should always be positive role models
and be supportive of their child's decisions.
We believe officials commit their own time to high school sports,
and respect should always be shown and given to them.
The most important goal for student athletes is to enjoy high school sports,
but keeping a high level of respect between all those involved in the games.
Enjoy the game!
SP Sports Performance. Some of the finest training you'll get. Full service training company specializing in rotational sports with 5 locations throughout Southeast Michigan. Founded in 2007 by Joe Neal, 2SP Sports has been committed to bettering athletes for over a decade. 2SP's custom programs blend disciplines of exercise science, coaching, and athletic skill development, which implement robust habits and help athletes succeed in competition. 2SP Sports Performance. Bottom of the 6th inning, time winding down. Kurt Barr back on the hill, the future Michigan Wolverine. And he will face the Brother Rice lineup that will start off with Wyatt Rupenthal, who's 1 for 1 today. And he's got it going. Some good swings. Sharp grounder to third, picked up by Preston. Fires across, and there's quickly 1 out here in the Brother Rice 6th inning.
Kurt Barr is up to 84 pitches here. 4 runs, 3 walks, 6 hits, 9 strikeouts. He's had a pretty solid day aside from those early innings again, and that seems to be a theme. It's the 2nd and 3rd inning where Brother Rice have scored all 5 of his runs. And in the first 2 games, we saw that more in the middle innings for Lutheran North, excuse me.
Yep.
And then in the second game, we saw only the first 2 innings have runs for Divine Child. So both of these teams, and in all 3 of these games, all 3 of these teams have gotten out to early leads and depended on their power arms to get them there.
How about Barr laying out and makes the play? A composed, cool throw across the diamond. And he gets Chase Vandermeed, who had checked into the game on a sharp grounder to third. How about this play? He got robbed.
Full extension, full dive, and this is what Michigan sees in Preston Barr on both sides of the ball. That's a full extension there. There's no shortage of a dive there. It was all out right into the pocket of the glove, a perfect transfer, a good throw, and that's how you keep base runners off the base path. And here's back to the top of the order for Rice and Velasquez.
So 2 are out. Liggett flashing some leather, and despite 2 errors in this game, making a late surge. Barr wanted that one, so did his bro, but they're called back. This is Alfredo Velasquez. 0 for 3 today. Liggett has shut down some of the top bats in this Rice lineup very impressively. I mean, you look at what Barr has done. Velasquez 0 for 3, Dowd 0 for 3, Cheeseman 0 for 1, Crane 0 for 3. I mean, you shut down their top bats.
Yeah, Barr's
been the other guys.
Yeah, Barr's really done what he's needed to do and what he's set out to do here, and he strikes out their best hitter there.
And Velasquez will end the 6th. Let's go to the 7th. One more last crack for Liggett. Grosse Pointe trying to rally. The Warriors trying to go home.
As the voice of Michigan student athletes, the Student Advisory Council's role
is to convey the message of how high school sports are supposed to be played.
We are responsible for helping the MHSAA maintain a positive and healthy atmosphere
so the interscholastic athletes may thrive.
We believe athletes should be competitive,
sportsmanlike, and excel academically.
We believe students in the stands should have fun,
but not take the focus away from the game.
We believe coaches should act as teachers,
helping student athletes develop while still keeping high school sports in perspective.
We believe that parents should always be positive role models
and be supportive of their child's decisions.
We believe officials commit their own time to high school sports,
and respect should always be shown and given to them.
The most important goal for student athletes is to enjoy high school sports
while keeping a high level of respect between all those involved in the games.
Enjoy the game!
Welcome back, Chad Bush and Brandon Justice. You see the top 10, St. Mary's, who we'll see at the top of the hour at the 7 o'clock hour. Northville, Howell, Rochester Adams making a move. Lake Orion, number 5. Brother Rice is 6th. New Boston Huron 7th. University Liggett 8th. Country Day 9th. And Shrine 10th. We'll have another rankings next Friday, and things will shake up again. Reggie Sharp swings and misses, and the count is even at 1-1. Robert Klan back out for his 7th inning of duty, looking for the complete game victory, partner.
Yeah, Klan at 80 pitches here. Not sure what his count is or if he has one, but he's at 80.
Ground ball left side. Sharp's a tough out from here. Throw to first, and they got him by a half step. Fine play in the hole to turn and burn. Tristan Crane, the sophomore, makes a fine play.
Yeah, it's a fantastic play here on the backhand. The glove is clean, the glove tool is nice, and the arm shows off here as well. Making a backhand play from short with speed out of the box and Sharp is about as tough as it gets as a defender, but makes it look easy there, clean and smooth.
Yes, sir. This is Martin batting. He had a base hit his last time up. Martin, the batter.
Yeah, and Martin's a great story, man, finding his way into this lineup. So stacked, and he's a guy who, you know, he doesn't come into this lineup, and he didn't come into Liggett with the hype that the guys like Purify and the guys like Sharp and Barr and Service and all those guys have, right? He just came in and gritted it out, grinded it out, and found his way into this lineup, and it's an easy guy to root for.
Martin has one of the 3 hits today. There's a pop-up to the second baseman. There's 2 outs, and Liggett's down to their final out. We talked about how well Barr has done against Rice's top hitters. I mean, you could say the same thing at what Klan has done to Liggett's top hitters. Purify 0 for 2, Service 0 for 3, Barr 0 for 2, Jones 0 for 2, Sharp 0 for 3. I mean, he's done some things to some guys that have had some nice offensive years, and they're all league for Liggett.
Yeah, Clan has come in here and done exactly what he wanted to do and then some. I think that Coach Riker was looking for 4, maybe 5 quality innings out of Clan, and he has enough. Because we saw him go to that pen a little early. Had somebody warming up in the 3rd or 4th inning.
Right.
And I thought to myself, okay, he's going to let him go 4 or 5 strong and then get out of there. Didn't want him to have to work out of a jam as a starter. But he hasn't had to do that. Clan's come in here and made Coach Riker's life relatively easy.
Yeah.
There's really no reason to even think. They've been up 5-0, now 5-1, but regardless, final strike here, final out, and might carry Rice into the championship.
Just misses off the plate. Liggett down to their final out. They were down to their final strike there. That's a big at bat for Joey Rendazzo to move the line along and force Bob Riker to come out. And that might be all for, no, he called off the dogs. Bob Riker says, I want to talk to him mano a mano.
I love this. This is Bob Riker. He's been doing this as long as he's been doing it, 25 years as we know. He's going to have a quick conversation with his arm, knowing that there's only one more out to get. He doesn't need the crowd to come through. Let me get in his ear, and let's win this ball game.
There you see Bob Riker, the former Central Michigan Chippewa. Proud Chippewa in his 25th year, all-time winningest head coach. State title to his credit, 2008. He was an assistant for 2 other titles under the longtime head coach Ron Kalzinski, the former defensive coordinator under the legend Al Fracassa. There's a sharp ground ball down the left field line. Jeff Calcaterra is the athletic director for Brother Rice. Dan Cimini doubles as the AD and head coach for Liggett. Clan trying to get out of here. He's 1 strike away. Purify swings and drives one deep to left down the line and foul. Well, that's the bat velo that Purify can present. That one just tugged a little bit left.
Yeah, that ball was tagged. And, you know, Purify's got that in him. He's got that juice in his bat and that pop in his bat to drive it that deep. He's got to straighten it out. He got ahead of it. And I was going to mention this. It's hard with 2 outs to come back from 4-run deficit. But you're at the top of your order if you're Liggett, Purify, and Green, and the guys who follow him. That's where you want to be.
Swing and a miss in the dirt. 10th strikeout of the game, and it ends it. The throw down to first, and Brother Rice is headed home to Warrior Park to take on the winner of Game 4. Brother Rice wins it with a victory over Liggett, their rival, 5-1 here in this semifinal game.
Yeah, and that's a beautiful game for Brother Rice. Perfect and clean.
We'll come back and wrap things up from Comerica Park. Some highlights and our G of the game coming up right after this. This ball game is over from Comerica Park. The 3 games are in the books, 1 more to go. But this one, as we welcome you back to Comerica Park on the prep, Brandon Justice and Chad Bush with you. Hey, look, This was one that Brother Rice got out early. They only needed one. They got two in the second, and this was how things got started.
Yeah, and again, I hate to tell the same story that we've told twice, but that's really what it is. It's just early inning scoring and dominant pitching. And that was the factors for Brother Rice today. Robert Klan had one of the better games he's ever had on the mound in the perfect spot. Their lineup did what it needed to do, timely hitting, moving runners well. Turansky here with the hit of the game, a 2-strike double that scored 2 runs. And today's game's similar through 3. Dominant pitching, early inning offense. And sometimes that's all you need to win a ball game at the Michigan high school level.
This was a big blast here. It was a triple. And it's not easy to burn Matthew Green. You talked about it. But that's exactly what Brother Rice did there. That was a nice triple coming by way of Turansky. And then this blast down the line added on.
And again, timely hitting. It's all about cashing checks in baseball, and cashing checks is, runners in scoring position, scoring them. And that's exactly what Rice did today. I think they only left 2 to 3 runners on base today. The extra base hits, there's 2 doubles from Fleury and Fox. There was a triple from Turansky. There was stolen bases from Cheeseman and Tribal. And they did all they needed to do, but it's all about timely hitting. It's not about singles with nobody on. I mean, I think Liggett had, in the end, they had a 3-hit inning, right? Only 1 run to show for it. It's timely hitting. It's cashing those checks. We remember Liggett leading 2 runners on earlier in the innings. But Rice cashed for those checks early and often, and it led them to victory today.
Brother Rice gets their 20th win on the year. Liggett, again, they're Division III, so they're playing Division I teams primarily throughout the regular season in their division. Things will get a little bit easier for them in Division III. Yeah, they might have to run into some Martians or whatnot, but, I mean, they're going to have an easier time. This is good preparation for them. It ends their Catholic League season, but it's just beginning as they will start their Division III tour, their repeat revenge tour in the playoffs in a week and a half.
Yeah, looking for 3 in a row for Liggett with an opportunity to do it behind Coach Samini, who's got a number of championships and banners hanging in left field at Liggett's field. And I'll tell you what, they're the favorite in D3. That game doesn't change anything. They're still the favorite in D3. And if I had to pick today, I'd still pick them to win D3. So we'll see what happens. But Brother Rice got a chance to win a championship this week at home, mind you, at home.
Yep. He's my partner, Brandon Justice, Pat Bush on statistics. Want to thank your executive producer, Alex Westfall. Brandon Cardenas on replay, Bradley Ross on graphics, Kyle Buchanan on a camera, Devin Schweitzer, Windblown Dev down on that third base line, Quinn Hatton also on a camera, Nick Lundy on audio, James Ferris on socials along with Julia Pisano. My name is Chad Bush saying so long from Comerica Park. Once again, your final score tonight. From downtown Detroit, Brother Rice 5, University Liggett 1. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back on the air at 6:50 with pregame of Orchard Lake St. Mary's, #1 in the state, #1 in the country, against Detroit Novi Catholic Central. Have a great night, everybody. We'll catch you in about 45 minutes. Thanks for watching. So long.